Thank you. Hey, can you hear us? Yep. Hey, Michał, you're probably wondering why I summoned you here today.
One, two. Oh, there you go. So why did you summon me here?
Yeah, because there was an ITCQF board meeting where you apparently talked about a report, but I missed the meeting. So could you give me the bullet points about it?
Sure, no problem. I can see that you brought some friends with you. So,
All these
but
people
maybe before we start, we can introduce ourselves. I'm Michał Skowron.
I'm Paweł Kowaluk.
And we're board members at ITCQF. This organization delivers training for tech writers and has certificates in technical communication. And during this presentation, when we say we mean the whole ITCQF team, because the data collected for this report was provided by the whole team, so kudos to them. And full disclosure, it's not a scientific research, it's nothing, we didn't want to provide any specific details. We just wanted to have an observation of the trends in the job markets and in number of technical writers and the growth rate. So, are you still interested?
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool. So, what's in this report?
In this report, you can find numbers about job offers in the Central Europe, number of technical writers in Central Europe, and growth rates. Also, we use some countries from other parts of Europe to compare data from the CE region with other regions. Our focus was on 13 countries in the Central and Eastern Europe. Some of them are Poland, Romania, Hungary, Lithuania, and Ukraine. And we only used countries from other parts, like from Western Europe, just to get the bigger picture.
Okay, so how did you collect all this data?
We used LinkedIn for job offers and people. We used the search phrase technical writer, and then we filtered according to the country. And we can call them snapshots. So one was from the 26th of January 2021, and the second one was taken on the 12th of January 2022. When it comes to the data about salaries, we used PayLab, and we collected the data on the same dates as job offers and numbers about tech writers.
Okay, so what's the big picture, Michał? Tell me.
So the big picture is that in Europe in 2022, we had over 100,000 technical writers, and 14% of those tech writers come from the Central and Eastern Europe. As you can see, 9% of technical writers in the CE region in 2022 are new. So even Darek Dresden is intrigued by this number. Do you know the guy? Yes. There you go. When it comes to job offers, we had almost 11,000 job offers in Europe, and 15% of them came from the CCE region. And in 2022, 82% of those job offers in the CE region were new.
Wow, that's surprising.
Surprising, right?
So let's focus on some examples from Central and Eastern Europe, please.
Okay, I know that you like talking about money, so let's start with salaries.
Yeah, give me the money.
The average salary in the CCE region is over $1,200 per month. The highest salary is in Czechia, and the lowest one is in Moldova. When it comes to job offers, the leader in the CCE region is Poland. And the lowest number of job offers in the CCE region in 2022 was recorded in Moldova, and it was...
2.
No, 1.
Okay.
Close enough.
So what about Poland, in particular?
When it comes to Poland, in 2022, we had over 700 job offers, and 85% of them were new.
Oh, wow.
When it comes to tech writers in Poland, the number grew by... It's funny? No? This is serious data, people, come on. Again, the growth rate was 16%. So we came from 1,900 to 2,200 in 2022. When it comes to average salary, in Poland you can expect to earn around $500 per month.
So what does that buy you?
160 sets of sushi and over 700 slabs of butter.
Wow.
Sounds
That's
good,
a lot
right?
of butter, yeah.
Yeah, so can you guess how many job offers in the CCE region come from Poland? But don't look.
50%.
No, 43%.
Okay.
And 15% of tech riders are from Poland in the CCE region.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I missed this meeting. So Romania was what?
It's a country in Europe.
No, I know what Romania is, but like, I mean, what's the numbers for Romania? Can you
Okay,
compare?
sorry. Job offers in Romania, in 2022, 81% of job offers in Romania were new, which is also quite significant growth. And when it comes to tech riders, the growth rate was similar to Poland. It was 17%. And in Romania, you can expect to earn around $1,000 per month, and it can buy you 460 slabs of butter.
Nice. Where did you get these numbers?
Carrefour, Bucharest?
Okay, that's interesting.
Okay. And you can also buy Tabasco, like 300 bottles.
Nice.
Okay, now guess again, how many job offers in the CCE region come from Romania?
20%.
No, 13%.
Okay.
And 14% of tech riders are from Romania in the CCE region.
Right, so what
You want
about...
another example?
Yeah, I'm a little hungry now, so why don't we talk about Hungary?
Okay. Sorry, what was that? Nothing. Come over. Okay, in Hungary, I forgot what I wanted to say. Thank you. So we had over 100 offers in 2022 in Hungary, and 86% of them were new. So the share is quite significant. Also, when it comes to tech riders, 9% growth rate recorded in 2022 in Hungary. And when it comes to salary, this is quite high. It's higher than in Poland and Romania, and it can buy you over 1,000 slabs of butter.
Why cheese, not bell peppers?
I don't know. You picked this number.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And now, guess again. How many percent of job offers?
10.
8.5.
Okay.
Okay. And 8% of tech riders are in the CC region are from Hungary. Okay.
So we see like a lot of growth in CEE countries. Like, can we compare between different countries? Can you show me numbers side by side?
Okay. So let's see the bigger picture. When it comes to percentage growth in the CCE region, Lithuania is the leader here. But we're not talking about the number, we're just talking about the percentage growth. So over 800%. Next is Hungary, and the third one is Czechia. When it comes to average salary, Czechia is the leader in the region. Then we have Hungary, and then Poland comes third. Number of tech riders. We have the highest number of tech riders in Poland, and next one is Romania, and the third one is Czechia. Okay, this is the graph showing the distribution of percentage of job offers in the CCE region. So we can see other countries that we didn't mention in the examples, like Lithuania, and that's it. No, sorry, Czechia as well. And other countries were almost 29%. When it comes to tech riders, the highest number is in Poland, and in Lithuania, for example, we have only 2.5%.
So Poland and Romania are the two biggest, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So what's like the summary, the executive summary, please?
So you don't have to read the report, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. It looks like the CE region has the higher growth rates in job offers and tech and employment than Western Europe. So this is our first conclusion. When you look at the numbers, the growth of job offers is higher in the CC region, but the real surprise comes here when it comes to tech riders. In Western Europe, there was almost no growth, in the number of technical writers.
So it shows that
0.2%.
like there's more demand for technical writers in Western Europe, but not as many people actually getting the jobs. Might be somewhere where people from Eastern Europe could apply for these jobs, especially now when there's more remote work allowed.
Sure, that's possible. And an interesting fact is that some of the countries also recorded a negative growth rate. For example, France, over 30%, and Austria, 10%.
So what conclusions can we show our good friends?
So what would you like to know specifically?
Yeah, as a tech writer, where should I look for jobs? Where can I earn the most?
The highest number of job offers you will get in Poland, then in Romania and Hungary, and these are the salaries that you can expect in those countries.
And if I want to set up a team, what's a good place for that?
If you want to set up a team, first you need to look for countries that have the highest number of technical writers. And so Poland comes first, then you have Romania and Czechia. And how much do you want to spend?
Right, that's always the question, right?
Yeah, that's always the question. So you need to pay the most in Czechia, then Hungary, and Poland comes third. Okay, are you satisfied with the data?
Yeah, I think maybe I want to read the report. Can I get that anywhere?
Sure. It's available online for free, no login required. You can get it at the ITCQF site. Go to the materials section, and then you will find the report. You can download it, read it, comment on it, send your feedback to the ITCQF if you have any.
Wow, free. I'll take 2 of those.
We have a counter. You can only get 1.
Oh, okay. Okay, sorry.
Okay, do any of your friends have questions? Questions, not one, maybe. I expected that.
Did I get the mic over there? Oh.
Hi, very nice presentation. I'm from Romania, and thank you for my. Yeah, sure. My question was, what about the negative rates? What do they mean? What does that mean? Like, who's writing there? Like in France?
It means that there were less technical writers in 2022 than there were in 2021.
And are they like automating the processes or?
We don't know because we are not able to collect this data from LinkedIn because there's no reason why there's negative growth rate. But you can always send this question to the ITCQF. So.
All right.
And maybe people who collected the data will know.
Yeah, so that's a very good question because we could speculate with they're automating stuff, or maybe people are moving into other fields, but like overall, it's impossible to tell just from these numbers. What we can tell is kind of what I hinted at, that you could expect there is a demand in Western Europe and there is kind of shrinking supply. So this might be a good way for people from this region to move into that region if they want that.
So are people, are the jobs increasing in Central Europe because the rates are lower basically, and then?
That's also hard to tell. It might be because the rates are lower, it might be because there's companies opening, or it could be companies maturing into the model where they want technical communication. Because we're seeing a lot of growth in this region overall. And Romania, for example, if you look back 10, 15 years, for example, the startup scene was much different than it is today, right? And there's much more, or many more bigger companies who could have a technical writing department now.
Yes, okay, thank you.
Okay, more questions over there?
Hi guys, I'm Kasia from Poland, and I was wondering if you checked maybe how many of those job offers were entry level and how many of them were senior job levels. So if you have a chance to look at that.
Unfortunately, the report does not differentiate between levels. So we just checked, technical writers as a position in general. So we didn't collect it. We didn't divide the data into categories when it comes to the position level. But it's a great suggestion for the next year or for the upcoming years. So send it again to the ITCQF. No, I'm completely serious, because all this feedback is very valuable, because this is just the starting of the conversation, right? This data, everybody wants to see this kind of data, but we don't have access to it, especially in the Central and Eastern Europe. So the next time we can do it better. So if you have any feedback, you can send it, and it's always good to have some, some ideas.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jadwiga. I really appreciated that you compared the salaries to bars of butter and other products. And not only because it was funny and tangible, but actually with the current inflation rate in Poland and in Hungary, it's really valuable to compare. So if you do the next reports for the next year, it's really like visibly you can see the comparison between the actual salaries. So yeah, thank you.
It's probably out of date by now, because we did it like 3 days ago.
It was out of date by the time you finished the presentation,
yeah, so
probably.
So between our start and the end, it's probably already out of date.
Hi.
So many hands.
I have a question. The salaries, is it after or before tax?
That's before tax. That's kind of the offered amount, I guess.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, we have one question from the virtual audience. Any trends in Ukraine?
Sorry?
Any trends in Ukraine? Did you have any data about Ukraine? And it was simply not included, or no data?
It's not. So the data was collected from those 13 countries, but the report only contains examples from specific countries. Like in the presentation, we only had 3 examples, but in the report, as far as I remember, you have Czechia and Lithuania as well. When it comes to data about Ukraine, I don't want to say it again. Please contact the ITCQF, because you need to contact people who actually prepared the entire report, because they will have the source data.
So yeah, we could get this data for you if you contact ITCQF and kind of figure it out. But the base report you download from the page will not have it.
Yeah, well, yeah. Long story short.
Okay, there are a lot of questions at the top of the room, and there are a lot of questions in general.
That's too far. Don't go there.
Maybe from the back somewhere?
Yeah, from the back.
Hi, I'm Garima. I'm actually from India, but I work as a technical writer in Poland. So these figures that you mentioned, so the cost of living in Poland has drastically changed from what it used to be last year and what it is this year. So how would you rate the average salary on a scale of 1 to 10, and do you see any scope for improvement here?
Yeah, so like, for example, the salaries we have in the report, they're from January, which is before a lot of the major troubles started. And also, so that's one thing to take into account, right? But when we are comparing to butter and stuff, that's kind of current prices. And the shift now in salaries is probably going to be a little slower, but companies are going to react to this inflation. Some have, some are still, going to do that. I know some companies have reacted drastically and they've raised the salaries a lot, depending on how much attrition they've seen, etc. Right? But yeah, the job of a technical writer is still a pretty good job in Poland to have, and especially, I mean, overall, comparing the IT outsourcing industry, comparing that to other fields, is pretty good. It's also not so bad within the IT industry as well. I don't know if that answers your question.
Also, it's not about the report, but this is some additional piece of information. TechWriter PL also conducts a salary survey for Poland. I know it's only Poland. And it's been done for the last 5 years, as far as I remember. So if you go to techwriter.pl page, you can find data about salaries in Poland among tech writers, going back like 5 years. So then you can have some idea how they grow, and what you can expect, in Poland.
Okay, Ray, because your hand is going to fall down in a minute.
Hey, Ray.
Hello, good morning. I wanted to make, since I'm from Western Europe, I wanted to make a few comments. First of all, in terms of the total number of technical writers, your figure is probably low simply because there are certain countries like Spain, Portugal, probably Greece as well, where technical writer is not actually listed as an official profession, so there may not be good statistics. There are plenty of people doing the work, but they're not necessarily counted in an appropriate way. Also, just in case anybody wants to make a comparison about salaries, this is just a guess on my part, but anecdotal, but I would say the salaries in Western Europe are slightly higher than the one on the screen. They're probably in the somewhat over $2,000 a month. In terms of cost of living, though, it might not be very much different in terms of what it will buy for you. So at least the higher end of the salaries that you showed are probably comparable in terms of cost of living.
I've got a surprise for you. No, these are some additional slides that we had in, for presentation, but when it comes to salaries in Western Europe, we did not really mention salaries in Western Europe. These are like data from the CC region. That's why. Okay, but I can speak about Poland, let's say, because it's $1,500, and I would say it's about right when you compare it to the report that I mentioned, the one that you can get from TechWriter PL, that would be around the same, as far as I know. And when it comes to Western Europe or other countries not in the CC region, you can have a look here. For example, Denmark, Liechtenstein, Switzerland, right? These are just some examples that you can find in the report as well. So we did not include all the data that is available in the report, so we encourage you to download it and read it, because there are some additional, details that you may find interesting.
And about the job titles, we assumed just technical writer. There could be other job titles, or they could be in different languages, right? Like, could say the same in German or something. And we did not count these. But again, this is not a scientific survey of all the details. This is just kind of a broad strokes, showing the trends. So just assuming most of these jobs are going to be advertised in English. And then the salaries that we show, there might be lower salaries, for example, in traditional industry where they would not post the numbers, or you wouldn't get the numbers anywhere, right? Because they're just secret, right? And those could be lower. And then when there's this modern startup, IT companies advertising their jobs with salaries, that's the numbers we would get. And maybe there's a bias here where they are a little higher. So just something to bear in mind when looking at this report.
Okay, we have one more question from the virtual audience. This question comes from Adam. What are the cultural and educational factors for technical writing in Poland?
So educationally speaking, there's no strong university not a lot of university programs that will give you a full education in technical writing. There are university programs which are kind of part of a broader curriculum. There are courses you can take. There are what we call postgrad studies, or kind of courses you can take at university. But there's no strong basis, like, for example, there is in Finland or Germany, right? And as for cultural aspects, the one thing that's important is in Poland, most of the writing is done in English, so it's going to gravitate towards people who have strong English. So it's either going to be, people who grew up abroad or graduated from English departments of universities, or people who are expats living here for whom English is their first language.
Yeah, and talking from the experience of myself and other people, I know it's like learning by doing culture. So you get the job and you learn it on the fly.
That's a very good point. Yeah, it's mostly right. Like, you can get some, for example, ITCQF does a course which you can also take, which is fundamentals. But most of the time, it's like you said, it's learning by doing on the job.
Okay, do we have any more questions? Yes, here's one.
The same guy.
And here at the front.
Hi, I'm Balint from Hungary.
Hey, Balint.
We've already met. Sorry, go on.
So, it is also clear from the statistics that the salaries in Central Eastern Europe are slowly but steadily rising, yet the demand for technical writers is booming like never seen before. And I think this could be a sign of a big paradigm shift, that the growth is no longer fueled by outsourcing, where the price is the bottom line, where the only motivational factor is that in Central Eastern Europe, people work much, much cheaper than in Western Europe. So as that gap is slowly closing, yet the demand is bigger and bigger for technical writers. Wouldn't you agree that this sort of signals a big change in the mentality, especially when it comes to like big multinationals who in the past used to only care about the bottom line?
Yeah, that's a very good observation, and thank you for putting it into words, because it was kind of at the back of my mind, and you kind of formulated it for me. That's the idea, right? Like, we're no longer seeing, where's the cheapest I can get this. We're seeing more of I can build a strong team here, or I'm a company who are natively from here, right? And we want to include technical writers in our team, a technical content department. And also, it's no longer kind of a cost which I want to make sure is the lowest, but it's part of the capital I put in to produce more capital, right? So you're right. I think this could be what we're seeing here.
I think also that the shift in technology that we use right now creates, let's say it's a broader context, but I think that the technical writer position is not the same as it was years before, right? So we have new technologies, we have new demands, and sometimes it's, you need people who are more technical. So as you said, it's not only where I can get the cheapest service, it's like where I can get the best people to do this job, like documenting APIs or doing some stuff for microservices. Because the cloud technologies, they want us to deliver different types of documentation. Sometimes this type of documentation requires some high, technical skills or other skills. So, and you cannot get them everywhere, right? So, probably the labor cost is the factor. But also you need to take into account the knowledge, the skills available on the market in a central part of Europe. So.
And this might also be continuing with the theme of SOAP, where 10 years ago it said, we don't do things the way they have been done, because we have never done them before. What Ray was quoting yesterday, the kind of SOAP started kind of when technical writing was, kind of getting started in Poland, and there's new people, there's more new people and fresh people coming to the profession as compared to Western Europe, when there's a lot of very experienced people who may not be as ready to move into these new areas, which are in demand now, right? They might not be as flexible to change, so they keep kind of in their ways. Whereas here, young people just coming in to these APIs, these Heroku apps, all of these cloud things, right? Just kind of being more up to date.
And of course, in Poland, you can get a technical writer who codes an awesome app for a conference, right? You don't get it anywhere else.
I can't agree. As you can see, you cannot get a person who can get a good
available
app for the game. It is not here.
Okay, do we have any more questions? No, I don't see any more hands.